So, in my random wild imaginations, I don't know if I'm correct. If you say random wild imaginations or wild random imaginations, I don't know, but the linguistics in the house will correct us. There need be. Yeah, those who are good in languages, they are called linguistics. They will correct us where if there need be. So let me use in my random wild imaginations, I tend to, or I assume that our lifespan is 100 years. The lifespan of a human being is currently at 100 years. So, you can't live more than 100 years. So what I mean is, whatever you want to do or any plans you have cannot exceed 100 years. You must be within the limit of 100 years. So according to me, in my wild random imaginations, I think the most crucial, or I think, is it the most critical, or the most critical span, the most critical period in this lifespan of 100 years is a period of between 20 years old and 30 years old. So if you give it a gap, because there are types of people who start, who are punctual in development. They start developing earlier than others. And then there are this other group of people that are always late. So let's give it a gap of 5 years ahead and 5 years before. So let's take it to between 15 years old to 35 years old. So according to how I see it, this is the most crucial time in the lifespan of a human being. Between 15 years old to 35 years old. And as I've just said, according to me, it's actually between 20 to 30. The fives are the gaps that we are giving, the allowance gaps, the 5 ahead and 5 behind. So they are just the allowance gaps we are leaving. So between 15, when somebody is 15 years old and 35 years old, in between here, that is the most critical moment of your lifespan. But this is according to me. Yeah, you must understand that what I'm saying is according to me. So, if symptoms persist, you got to seek medical advice from the doctor. I'm not a doctor, but I'm just a wild thinker. I'm just a wild thinker, so don't try whatever I'm saying at home. Just consume it for you also to think, dig deep into it through thinking. But don't take things here and then put them into practical use, because they're not scientifically proven. They're only imaginations. So, why am I saying between 15 years old to 35 years old is the most critical? Okay, before I say why, or before I start explaining why I think so, I want you people to excuse me normally when I talk about issues, I always like to use facts. When I talk about something, I always want to use facts. I always don't like using spiritual, I don't know what to call them, spiritual or religious, whatever you can call it. As I said before, linguistics in the house will help us where we are going wrong. So, I don't always like using religious or spiritual, because here is an open platform. Everybody is here. There are these people, the group of people that don't believe on religion, don't believe on such religion or everything. So if you start basing your arguments on religion, you are spoiling everything. That is why I always want to base on facts and not religious. Because religion, mostly there are things that are imagined. There are things that you can't prove them. You just want to, somebody told you that there will be life after this, and people will be enjoying and others will be burning, and you just believe it like that without any evidence. So that is why when I discuss something or when I talk something, I always don't like basing my arguments on spiritual things, because spiritual things, I want something that if someone asks me a question, my answer will not be telling, I'll not be telling somebody to just believe, because that is not an answer. You are telling somebody that one day you will burn, but how can you verify that information? You can't verify. You are told that people will burn. So that's why I always don't like basing my arguments. So for this one, I want to use one spiritual term, and I'm requesting for for your permission on this. I want to use the word devil or Satan, but I'm not going to use it on the context of, or the spiritual context of, okay, I just want to use it to mean some negative influence on somebody. So when I say the devil or Satan, don't take it on that spiritual angle of devil or Satan. No, take it as some evil thought or some evil part of you that pushes you. So when you reach 15 years ahead to 20 to 25 to 30 to 35, that period, know that is when this one called the devil is very busy with you at that moment. From 15 to 35 years, whatever I'm saying here is my opinion. Yeah. It's my opinion. As I said earlier, it's my random thoughts or random imaginations or wild imaginations or whatever you can refer to them that will suit you. So, between 15 to 35 of age, this is where the chairman of all devils, let me call him, in this session I want to give him the nickname of supretendent. The superintendent of all devils looks at you from 15 years. This is the time that the superintendent of all devils will start sugarcoating vices. or will start sugarcoating bad habits or bad things for you. He will be coating them to make them look sweet, beautiful, attractive, enjoyable, easy to do. So this is where all evil things and all bad things, things that are directly meant to harm you, will look beautiful to you, will look attractive to you, will look so easy for you to access, and you'll always have the urge to do them. Because the supretendent devil has coated them for you. So this is the time when alcohol, you'll see people in clubs, and you see them as having fun and enjoying. That is what you see. At that age, between 15, after 15 years ahead, you will be attracted to such things. Out of curiosity, you will be tempted to try that because it looks beautiful. This person, they drank 2 beers, and that is why when he got the courage and he seduced this lady, this beautiful lady. This wine must be good. Let me have a taste of it. This is what gives me courage. Before I drink this thing, I cannot even talk. But after I drink small, I'm very courageous. I can even do a lot of things. I can perform well when I take a little wine. That's the pretendant of the devil. The devil is working. So he will beautify things for you. He will make things that will harm you appear very beautiful. You see the way like somebody takes glass, broken pieces of glass, and then covers them with ice cream. Very sweet looking ice cream, but inside are broken pieces of glass. Now he shows you this ice cream. He like bites this ice cream and eating it in a sweet way, so that you see the way it's sweet. Then you will want to have a taste of it. You'll give it to you. Take that one, just swallow it. Then you take it in your mouth and you swallow it down to your belly. What is there? Broken pieces of glass in your belly. That is what the supretendent does. Beautifies all the evils for you at 15 to 20 years. You'll see them as good things. Then there is this other group now. They are the juniors to this superintendent. Though they also have ranks, they are devils that the commandant, the superintendent is their commandant. But now they are in charge of, let me call them, devils in charge of Satan's workshops. Devils, okay, we call it OCP. This one of police, we call it OCPD, Officer in Charge of Police Division. So this one, let's call it devils in charge of devils in charge of devils workshops. Now this superintendent has different workshops in various parts of your life. So there is this area called the sexual area, or we call it a sweet name. Let's give it a sweet name, like the devil gives them sweet names. The love area. Yeah. You know, even the Englishmen, when they didn't want to say stealing, because stealing is not sweet, they said burglary. So burglary is a sweet name that they gave to stealing. So there is devil in charge of devil's workshops, because he has different workshops. He has a workshop of the sex. He has a workshop of this one with issues with drinking alcohol and drugs. He has another workshop of these are small workshops that the devil uses to lure people. He can either lure you through drugs, he can lure you through sexual matters, this one that they now sugarcoat to call love. Then now these are what I call workshops. The sex workshop, the drugs workshop. So there are officers in charge of different workshops. So they will be, after the devil is placed all this in front of you, then the commanders of these workshops will be watching you. So they will be seeing where your interest is. They must first of all study your point of interest. So once they get your point of interest, then the officer in charge of that area will take you up. So let's say they get your point of interest is in girls, when you are a man. Or let me say it, your point of interest is in sex. That is where he will go along. He will ride with you along your... The devil is... Let me tell you. The devil is a scholar. The devil is a scholar. And even the scholars of scholars. You can name Isaac Newton. You can name people. The great scholars that you know over the time. Combine all of them together, put all their knowledge together as one, cannot even reach half of the devil's knowledge. The devil is a scholar. So there is no knowledge, human being. You cannot be cleverer than the devil. You can never be cleverer than that person, that devil. So whichever way, and he knows how things work. And he knows all values. And he knows something called patience is a point of weakness in human being. And he knows very well that patience pays. But he knows very well that you will never be patient. But the devil will be patient because he knows very well that patience pays. So the devil is a scholar. So if he takes you as his project, It's not easy to escape. He will bite you, finally. So, this devil, now they have now found your point of interest. He's in drugs, you are in drugs. Now the officer in charge of drug workshop has taken up your case. Now he's riding with you. So a group of your friends will go smoke bang. Then they will be high, you'll see them high, you'll go clubbing and you see them, they get good girls and you know they are crazy, they're doing crazy things and they're enjoying, and you see that and you see that as good, and the curiosity in you will want you to have a taste of bang. If this bang, marijuana, can do something like this, make these people have very beautiful girls, I must have a taste. You are going there. If your point of interest is in sex, he has ways to do it. The officer commanding the workshop that your point of interest is directed to will take you up immediately. Immediately the chief, the superintendent, has displayed all the sugar-coated evils for you. Yeah. Then as you're looking for that evil, that is at 15 years, as you are looking for those beautiful things, then they're keenly watching you and they will see where your point of interest is. So where your point of interest is, the officer commanding that workshop will take you up from there. Now you will go. Now they will be luring you. And let me remind you that the devil knows that patience is, I don't know, patience. There are things called virtues and there are things called, I don't know which one, where patience falls. But what is important is that you know what patience is. And I'm saying to you here that patience is something that is very, 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 very important in your life. To be patient. And the devil is very patient. He will be patient with you, even if you refuse, that you are not following these things. The stubbornness of pepper seeds has never been a bother to the grinding stone. The stubbornness of pepper seeds has never been a bother to the grinding stone. So even if you refuse, he'll just be waiting. Okay, he'll wait for you. He'll give you another 3 years. He'll bring you another one. So you refuse to smoke bang, okay. Now he will bring coke. He will lure you with coke. You refuse. No problem. Even if you refuse, no problem. He will just leave you again. Very patient. Just looks at you. He will bring alcohol late again. So, as long as you continue, when you continue being stubborn, the devil is not losing hope. He is not losing hope. So he will be following you for this, that is from 15 years, he will be following you. When he sees you passing 26 years old, and you are not yet going down, that is where the devil now gets irritated, because he knows that you are almost heading to the what do we call it? That place where athletes end whatever, linguistics will help. So, he knows that you are heading there, so he's at injury time. My friend, if you reach 30 before the devil sinks you, he starts giving up with you. You see, now say that this one, because you cannot pass 15 to 30, these temptations will be there. He will be working. The officers commanding the different workshops will be always working and taking to him reports of the new things they have done to you and where you are coming, you are going in. So you will not escape. You will find that at one point, you start drinking alcohol. You drink, but something comes to you and then you draw back and you leave it and then you come back to the line. That is what saves you from that devil. But you'll see some other people, they go into alcohol, they drink it, you are with them, you are learning in them in school, they went into alcohol, they drank it, and they have become mad people in the market. That is where the devil wants you to be. Once you reach that stage, now he's finished with you, he's done with you, he leaves you. That is where he wants to take everybody. You become a mad person. You see some people drank too much alcohol and they had an accident and they perished, they died. That is what the devil wants. Some people smoked too much coke, too much marijuana. They are now walking naked in the market. That is where the devil wanted you to be. So the moment you are reaching 30 years and you have escaped all this, my friend, the devil is not very happy with you. That is the injury time for the devil. And he's really tormenting these officers in charge of workshops because why is this person passing? Why is this person passing all these stages? What are you people doing about this person? So say, we tried. I had given. I already convinced him, and he got that lady. But I don't know how he again left that lady again to I don't know what happened. You don't know how. You see, now there is supretendent quarreling is OCS of these places. That is my layman's explanation. To put it into, I just try to frame it and digest it into a formula that all of us can consume and understand how it works. And I repeat, these ones are according to my wild imaginations. There is nothing scientifically proven in what I'm saying. These are my wild imaginations. So, the moment you reach 35, you can never reach that 35 years without having done one of these things. But you do, and then you realize you are sinking, and then you come back to the line. You do. So the moment you reach 35 years, when you are still in your right senses, you're still stable, the devil is giving up with you. That is where now he will now give up with you. Say this one, because now after 35, after 35 years, you are somebody who is mature. Somebody cannot come and convincing you that alcohol is something good people enjoy, because you already know. At 20, 15, 25, somebody can still come and convince you that take a syringe and do coke into your bloodstream. You'll enjoy, you'll have fun. At 25 years, at 20, at 18, at 16, somebody can convince you and you can try that. But at 35 years, somebody cannot come to you with that nonsense. You cannot come to me with that nonsense now and I follow that. I can't. Because I already know that there is nothing sweet in these things. These things are only sweet when you see them somewhere with somebody, and you tend to imagine in your head that they are sweet. To that person, they are not sweet. But you, the way you see them as sweet. But now when you reach 35, when you are this my age, Satan is giving up with you. No, this one, hey, he said this one is a god. You're imeenda. In Kenya we say you're imeenda. So when you reach 35, Satan says you're imeenda. Fast. But it's not easy. So this one I always really like to tell people, or young people from the age of 15, be very, 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 very careful. That is when this one called the devil is busy with you. Between 15 years to 35, he will spoil you. He will make sure he damages you completely there. And let's now leave alone noise. Don't make noise. Let's look at practically your environment where you live, wherever you are. See people who have turned mad. See people who have turned into drunkards. See people people you are in class together with, and they are now spoiled. People you are in college with, and they are now useless. Look at them and tell me, at what age did they get useless? Do your own research. I always say these things. These are my own wild imaginations. So I say them so that I give you the freedom and opportunity to do your own research on the same, and then come back with your findings and tell me, Oyo, my name is Oyo, O-Y-O-O. So come and tell me, Oyo, you said this devil is busy with us between age of 15 to 35. But he trapped my uncle at 55. Come and tell me that so that you prove me wrong. That somebody just went very well until he reached 50 years, and then after 50 years, then he spoiled his life with the drugs and come and tell me, then I'll accept. Because I'm saying also this, whatever I'm saying is not scientifically proven. This, whatever I'm saying, is based on my personal examination and personal observation. So, and remember, I've not lived in this world for more than 40 years. I've not even lived in this world for 40 years. And I always tell you that the first 10 years is like a waste, because you don't know what you are doing. So the first 10, cut it off. So I'm not even 30 years in this world. So whatever I'm telling you is only based on a very narrow time that I've observed and I've lived on this earth. So they are not necessarily the truth, but according to my observation, that is the age when the devil must spoil you, must make sure he damages you between 15 to 35. When you cross the mark of 35, you're imeenda. All of them, the officers commanding the devil's workshops, they write reports to their master, to their superintendent. You're imeenda, ile imeenda. Your file is closed. They close your file, now they leave you because you are God, you passed them. So if you have children, explain this to them in your own way. That age of 15 going ahead, they must be very careful. And for those of you that have crossed the 35, here are my hands. Come, let's hold hands and let's sing choir together.